Hey, very good evening. Welcome back to the Football Martin channel. It's great to have you here. I thought we'd do a live stream and we would rank the players so far this season, being broadcasted live across YouTube, Facebook, but it is available on Catch Up. England are playing at the time of recording, so many people will be tuned in to watch in England, or you may just have us as a second screen because England are qualified anyway. You can tune in. I'm going to be joined by a very special guest very shortly, and we're going to be going through each and every Southampton player and ranking their performances of the season so far. And we have a bit of a discussion as well. I'm joined by my guest, my co-host, Ellie. Ellie, thank you very much for joining me for a live stream here on the channel. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I want to talk to you quickly before we get into our content this evening. That we've been planning this today, but there's a bit emerging the last couple of hours. There's a bit of talk around Tonda Eckert potentially becoming the full-time manager. Just a quick little bit of reaction from yourself.
My stance has stayed the same on this, really. I think since we've still got sacked and we had the conversation of whether he could go on and be the manager, I still don't think it's probably the best idea in the world, given the fact that we're in a situation where we need points and we need wins. I appreciate we've got 6 points out of 6 under him, and that's fantastic. But we've got a tough period coming up. We've got Charleston, we've got Millwall, we've got Leicester. None of these games are easy games now. So yeah, I personally think that we still need a big name manager, but
yeah,
we'll have to see what the club do.
It's a bit of a gamble. I think they're playing with a little bit of fire right now. But we're here to discuss players and rank the players on what they've done so far. We've created our very own tiered list, and I'm going to share it at the end of the live stream so people can get involved and do their own. They can get involved and do their own. Share it with us as well on social media. We should start, Ellie, with goalkeepers first. We've got several categories to rank the players by. We've got wow, good start, needs more time, must improve, yikes, not played enough. There's a few that have not played enough. We know that. So where should we start, Ellie? Which goalkeeper? You choose the first goalkeeper. Your choice.
Let's start with Bazunu.
Go with Gavin Bazunu. Okay. Gavin Bazunu. For you, how... Look, he's took a bit of flack, isn't he? Let's be honest. They both take him flack. But Gavin, for you.
The problem, I think, with a goalkeeper situation is we've got 2 goalkeepers who, so far this season, have a very similar record. So Gavin Bazunu played 8 games, Alex McCarthy playing 7, letting almost the same amount of goals per game that they've played, and they've got a clean sheet each. But they're very different keepers, aren't they? I mean, one's a younger keeper, more up and coming, and one's getting towards the end of his career. So they're very, very different. I've put Gavin Bazunu in the needs more time section.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But it was close between needs more time and good start. I mean, he hasn't been probably as solid as we would have liked. I think sometimes, there's decisions that he makes, especially a goal we conceded in the last away game, that one goal we conceded, which to me felt like it was a mistake by him. I'd like him to be, have a bit more presence in the box, which I think is what I
agree with that.
Does on him. So yeah, it's really tricky because he's in between those 2 brackets for me, but I've put needs more time just because he's a young keeper. I think he needs a little bit more experience. I know he's played a season at Pompey, then a season at Saints, went on loan last season, having been injured, and now he's back again. But he definitely needs a little bit more time for me and just, get a little bit more experience, I feel.
Yeah, it does need some more time. He's a nice lad as well from what I hear. So we'll pop him in. Needs more time. Right. We should come on to Alex McCarthy. He was favoured predominantly by Will Steele, wasn't he? Sort of after, what did he get dropped, Gavin, after about 3-4 games? And he brought Alex McCarthy. And like you said, Ellie, like you like you said, he's the more experienced, probably coming to the end of his career now. It's a difficult one to rate actually.
It is, and I think, if it was up to me and who we would play, I think I'd probably play Alex McCarthy.
Yeah, you
prefer him again. It's a very, very tricky one, and it's he had that fantastic run, didn't he, for us in the playoffs, which was great. I think he hasn't been awful, when he's played so far. I think he's just been, he hasn't been amazing, but he hasn't been bad either. I think he has that bit more of a presence in the box and things like that. That's why I prefer him. So I've personally put him in good start. But again, as I said, he's got a very similar record to Gavin Bazunu. So it's tricky to say between the two, but that's where I put him.
We'll put him in with good start. I think that's a really good shout. We've got a lot of players. When I was putting this together today and I was going through the squad, Ellie, I was like, geez, we have a lot of players.
We do.
And we've had a lot of players play games as well. It's huge, the squad. No wonder it was so difficult for Steele to try and balance it. And it's not only is the squad quite big, it's like a really imbalanced squad as well, I feel. Like there just seems that there's too many players.
But even when you did your video like this, I think you did it towards the end of last season, didn't you? When we knew we were going to go down, and it was even bigger than this. So it has been cut down a bit, but it's such a big squad we've got.
Yeah, it's a huge squad. We've got 140 watching live. Thank you very much for everybody tuning in. It's an absolute privilege to have you here. We're trying to keep you busy during the international break. Not everybody likes international football. I find it really hard to watch England at the moment. Hence me sat doing a live stream this evening with Ellie. Right, let's go on to defenders now. Let's start talking about defenders. Captain Jack Stevens. He's a difficult one, Ellie, because he started the season well, didn't he? Scored that header against Wrexham.
Yeah.
And then went on to have an absolute stinker at Hull City. I don't think he's been terrible. But
no,
where do you put him? I want to know where you would put him, and then I'll tell you if my thoughts are the same as yours.
And I think I might say this about a few of these players, to be honest, because these players like Jack Stevens, who we've had for a long time, has had good periods for Saints and also had not so good periods for Saints. I've put him, just going on this season so far, I've put him in the needs more time. And that is because I know, what a moment that was when he scored that against Wrexham. But I think, as you said, at Hull City, it wasn't the best performance from him. Also, in a couple of away games ago, I know when Leo Cienza got taken off and he came on and then we went on to lose. There's just a few factors, but he's also our captain, and I think he probably brings a lot to the dressing room in general. So again, I would put him probably between those two brackets because he hasn't been as good as I've seen him play for Saints, but also he hasn't been bad, has he?
Yeah, he needs a bit more time to really judge him on the season so far. And you can say that for a few players as well. But I back you on that. For me, after I watched him against Hull, I was like, you need to be better than that. You need to, as a leader and someone that's played at this level, should be tons better. But yeah, I agree. Needs a bit more time before we can judge him more. I think he will improve as well. There's no doubt he'll be back in the side now. One of the players that's impressed me a lot is who we're going to come to next. I know there was the spat with the fan when he left the pitch against Preston. But all in all, Nathan Wood, for you've been impressed with him. I have been.
I have. Compared to how we've seen him play before for Saints, I think he has made a couple of mistakes recently, which haven't been great. But up until that point, I hadn't ever really seen him put a foot wrong. So I think he's also, a young defender. So, you've got to give him a bit of grace for the mistakes that he may make. But I put him in good start personally, because I think, considering the experience that he's got, his age and things like that, I think he'll go on to be an absolutely fantastic player. So I put him in good start, and I think that reflects his season so far.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think he's had a really good start. I like him. I think he's a good defender. I think he's a really good defender. And let's come on to sort of two younger defenders now. We'll go with Joshua Kwasi first. He's been a bit in and out of the side. I watched him in pre-season. I thought his pace and his power looked good. But he's young, isn't he? He's young and he's got a long way to probably go, Joshua Kwasi. What's your thoughts been on him so far, Ellie?
So I think he started that first game against Wrexham, if I'm not wrong. And I felt quite impressed with him in that game, or the first game that I saw him. He then made that mistake away at Ipswich, didn't he? And then he'd been dropped for a few weeks. Then he got dropped for a few weeks, and then sort of came back in the side towards the end of Will Steele's tenure. So yeah, he's been a bit in and out of the squad, hasn't he? So I feel like I haven't seen enough of him probably to judge him yet. So for that reason, I've put him in needs more time. I think he needs more time for sure, and he needs a bit more experience. But yeah, we've seen some mistakes from him, but also I was impressed from the first couple of games. So again, it's what did you think on that one? Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, needs more time. Yeah, I don't think you say must improve because he's just young, but in terms of like he's got a great future ahead of him, isn't he? He's for the future. He's a player without doubt for the future, isn't he? He's not probably for the here and the now, but he can play a part this season, like no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And I think very similar on Ronnie Edwards, to be honest. You know, played a similar amount, you know, maybe a little bit more. And I know that, you know, when he was at QPR last season and the club he was at before that as well, they really liked him and rated him there. And I do see the potential in him that he's going to be, you know, a really great player. Also, I think, you know, in the England under-19s or under-21s, like he's got the potential, hasn't he? But again, needs more time for me to be able to judge him on the season, as did Quashie.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, I'm going to pull him out next. I think he's having a bit of I might be wrong. Is he having a bit of a confidence crisis? Because I think he's like, there's no doubt there's a player there. He's a good player, but for someone that like when you see him off the field, he looks really, really confident. But I watch him play football sometimes and think, hold on a minute, you don't look like a guy that's full of confidence. Like I think he needs to improve a lot at this moment in time. I may be wrong, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, and compared to our last championship season, when we had him that season, it feels like, you know, he's a very different player to me, is how I see it. He's not played so far this season up to the standard, I feel. You know, this is, you know, not looking at any stats here. This is just my feeling of it from watching the games. But my feeling is that he hasn't played up to the standard that he did a couple of seasons ago. He's also, you know, had quite a few promotions out of the championship now, hasn't he? And then a season in the Premier League where it's all gone a bit wrong. So I was actually a little bit surprised that I know he was our record signing and things like that, but I thought that there might be a bit more interest from Premier League clubs in the summer for him, and I felt like I was pretty surprised that he didn't go. I felt like he was a type of player that would go, considering he'd already had a promotion with Southampton out of the Championship, a promotion with Burnley out of the Championship, and that he might be ready for, you know, a more lower end Premier League club personally. But yeah, this season he doesn't look like the same player that he did a couple of years ago. So yeah, maybe we need to go on and win a few more games and get that confidence back in him.
Yeah, I'm with you. So where are we going to put him? Where are we going to rank him in our tiered ranking? Are we going to put him in must improve?
I think that's another tricky one, Martin, because I think compared to, you know, some of the players that we put needs more time, you know, I'd rather have him in the 11 than potentially, you know, one of those players. So that's tricky, but considering how we've seen him play in the past and how we know he can play versus this season, I think he probably should go in that must improve bracket.
Yeah, let's put him in the must improve bracket. I'm absolutely with you on that one. So Taylor Harwood-Bellis must improve. Right, Ronnie Edwards, our final centre back. He's there was a massive hype around him coming back. Huge hype that he was so good at QPR last year. I was well excited to see Ronnie Edwards this year, but I was I like him. I like aspects of his game, but I'm surprised that he's not quite been at it like I thought he was going to be at it.
And I think part of the problem with him as well is we did all have a really high expectation for him coming in, maybe too high, because, you know, we'd heard of how fantastic he was playing, you know, at QPR, and the team that he was with before that, they were a League One side. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but I know that they really, really rated him there as well.
It's Peterborough, he was at Peterborough.
Yeah, Peterborough, that was it. So I think the expectation of him coming back in was really high. For me, I couldn't quite see at the beginning of the season how he was going to fit within the team, because I imagined it would be a back four for most of the season with Jack Stephens and Taylor Harwood-Bellis. So I wasn't sure how he was quite going to fit in the team, and I haven't seen, you know, I'm feel quite neutral on him at the minute. Same as Quashie, I would say. Needs more time for me to be able to judge him, but also haven't been, you know, as impressed as I probably expected to be when he was coming back and play for us.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Absolutely. Yeah, he's going to be good. So where are we going to put him? Needs more time. More time for Ronnie Edwards. Perfect. We've got loads of people tuning in, by the way. You've got 305 tuning in. I've broadcasting this like all over tonight. It's being broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, and X as well. So, and I've also got it on where else did I put it? I put it everywhere tonight. Everywhere, every platform I can possibly link it to. I've done that this evening. So yeah, thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Make sure you get involved as well. We love to get your opinion. We would love to get your thoughts as well. So yeah, it's great to have you join us. Right, there's a lot of people saying the England game's a bit boring as well at the moment as well. So get everyone through a boring England game. Right, Mads Roslev signed from Brentford in the summer, new right back. It's obviously coming to replace James Bree, though I love James Bree. I sort of had a bit of a soft spot for him as a player. So he had to be half decent to kind of like make me get over the fact that we've let a decent right back go out on loan in Bree. Mads Roslev for me has been a little bit of a letdown so far. I'm like leaning towards yikes, which is a bit hard. Maybe it's a bit harsh.
I would personally think he probably would be, for me, in the must improve bracket. And when he played the first couple of games for us, I was relatively impressed. I think it was the Pompey game where I noticed, and there was a lot of pressure around that game and things like that. And, no one played amazingly in that game, did they? It wasn't the game that we thought it would be. But I think it was the Pompey game where, for me, I really noticed that he hadn't played to the level that I'd seen him play in the game before, or potentially the game before that. And since then, he's struggled to get in the team every week, hasn't he? When in reality, a player that's come from Brentford with, a Premier League club with all the appearances he's had for Brentford, to me, seems like a player that should be in our starting 11 every week with that experience and, the fact that he's played in the Premier League for a while. So for me, it's going to have to be the must improve, or as you said, the yikes bracket. Maybe that is a bit harsh to put him in the yikes bracket.
We'll put him in must improve. Yeah. Yikes is like, it's harsh on anyone to put anyone in yikes, but a few people said, the keeper's in yikes. But I think I think the thing about both of us, we're quite balanced on our views. Like we're not going to come on and literally smash players. It's just not fair and be really harsh on players. Right, brings me on to Ryan Manning. It's his third season with us. Yes, his third season in the Saints shirt. Scored that brilliant free kick against Wrexham. That's probably going to be a standout ever Saints moment. And then that free kick he scored against Watford. I know a lot of people that tune into this channel don't massively like Ryan Manning. I actually don't think he's been one of our worst players this year. I think there has been worse.
Yeah, for sure. I think I actually had a look at some of the stats before I came on here. So, and it was actually quite surprising to me because, again, it didn't feel like this was the case. But this, from the stats, Ryan Manning has been on the pitch for all 4 of our wins so far this season, starting 3 of the games and then coming on in that Wrexham game, scoring the free kick. He's had the most appearances out of, our defensive line, most chances created, most forward passes out of all of our defenders. So that to me sounds like he's had a pretty good start. But it's tricky because I know that there's very mixed opinions on Ryan Manning from the
good stats on him, by the way, Ellie.
Yeah.
You've pulled out some great stats there. There's a few people in the chat that are saying the same as well. Really good at attacking. Maybe he's not so good at defending. I tend to agree with that. I think he's had a good start personally. I'm not going to say wow, but were you saying the same?
Yeah, I'm not in the wow bracket, but definitely in the good start bracket, and I don't think he deserves to be any lower than that.
I think that's really fair. I think that's really fair. Right, we're working our way through the defenders. We've just got 2 defenders to do now. We've got it's a difficult one. We've got Wellington. He's not played loads of football, has he? Really got that injury, trying to find his way back from that. Wellington, for me, he needs more time. What about yourself?
Yeah, needs more time. I mean, a silly red card that he had a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? So that probably knocks him down a little bit as well. I've been relatively impressed from what I've seen of him so far, but again, we haven't seen tons from him due to him getting that injury, but prior to that, he was starting every game, wasn't he? So yeah, been relatively impressed, but needs more time considering he's been out for quite a while and also got a very silly red card a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of a way to go. Hopefully, he'd get better as a player there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. I'm sure he will improve as a player. Right, let's come on to loads of people watching live, by the way. Because I've broadcast it, there's 380 people tuned in watching this, which is pretty incredible. So thank you all very much. I've got a question, which I will bring up at the end, Mark. Thank you for your question. We are going to do a bit of a Q&A at the end. We're going to do a bit for this show, and then we're going to do a members only live for about 5-10 minutes. So I will come back to your question there, Mark, very, very shortly. Right, next player we have is Yellet. He's not really played enough, has he?
No, not played enough. Only a couple of games, I think. But again, a player that when he has played, I have been impressed with what I've seen. But definitely not played enough as it stands to really be able to rate him fairly, I think. But yeah, as I said, from what I've seen, I've been relatively impressed with him. So wouldn't have any concerns there about playing him regularly. Yeah,
no, I'm with you on that. Absolutely. Yeah, I think he's going to be good. I thought he was good in that debut against Liverpool. Right. I'll put out, we'll do some easy ones quickly, just to thinning out the midfield. He's not played a lot. Joe Aribo, he's only just come back into the frame, isn't he? Not played enough. He can't really talk too much about him, can we? It's same for you. Is he going to get a great deal of game time now we've got Romeo? Do you think he will?
I wouldn't have thought so. With Romeo in there and the other midfielders that we have, so obviously Flynn Downs has now come back in. Shay Charles as well once he's back from injury. So I would have liked him to have had a bit more game time up until this point, because I think the midfield needed him, especially when Flynn Downs hasn't played. So I would have liked to have seen him more up until this point. But realistically, with Romeo back in there, is he going to get much game time? He's a player that I really like and I really rate Aribo, but I don't see how it can all quite fit together to get him in the squad regularly.
You excited by the return of Oriol Romeo to come into midfield?
I mean, that is the type of thing that Saints fans need when we've had the start to the season that we've had so far. To announce a player like that, coming back is so exciting, isn't it? And I've only seen such positive things about his return, and when he gets his debut, hopefully in the next game, I think he'll get such a reception from the Saints fans as he did when he came on the pitch in the last home game. So yeah, it'll be really exciting.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. A few people in the chat saying Aribo, he wants out and it shows. Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, maybe. I think he'd go January. Don't see him being at the club beyond January. That's for sure. Right. Matski's not played a great deal as he scored that really good goal. It's hard to really judge him, I think, from what I've seen. I don't know about you. I like him though. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much as much as I've seen of him. But obviously, that was a great goal, wasn't it? So yeah, it definitely looks like he could have the potential, but not really in the squad as it stands, or coming on even, is he? So
yeah, I'm going to just mix up these players and make it random because we kind of. I want to pull out. I want to get some excitement in our live now.
Yeah.
So I want to pull out Leo Cienza. And talk about Leo Cienza. Like he is literally doing all the right things, isn't he? Like everything right, not just on the field, but in his press conferences, like match day after games, giving shirts to kids.
Absolutely.
The guys he's a bit of a cult hero already, isn't he?
Yeah, and for me, he's gotta go in the wow section. He's a player that is already in his short time at the club has shown his passion and the way that he can play. Scored a couple of goals, even hit the bar I think 2 or 3 times, and just really attacking player that will run at players as well, because I think that's something that we've lacked a lot of in the past few years, just players that will go forwards and run at defenders, and that's something that I really like about him. Obviously, the interviews that he's done have been great. I think, he's the last one out on the pitch after every game, interacting with the fans. He's become a fan favourite very quickly, and I think will continue to be because he's made a fantastic start. So yeah, hopefully he keeps it up.
He has been great, isn't he? I love him. I think he's really good. I've really enjoyed watching him. He's a breath of fresh air. And do you know what I like about him, Ellie? Every time he gets the ball, he looks to play forward. He always looks for the forward pass, and he always looks to play forward. And if all our players did that, we'd be in it'd be so much easier.
And if you look at the pass completion rates and things like that, Jack Stevens, Taylor Howard-Bellis, they've got the best percentages of pass completion rates, but that's because they're passing it to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Attackers
5 yards,
be a lot lower because they're going forwards, and I don't mind that if not every pass gets completed and things like that, but it's making Saints play exciting football again and going forwards, because that's what we want to see as fans. We want to be excited about watching Saints, and I think players like Tom Fellows, who we obviously haven't come onto yet, and Leo Cienza are bringing that back for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge amount of people tuning in, by the way. There's approaching 400 people tuning in across all the platforms tonight. It's a really, really good turnout. Unbelievable. Can't believe it. But with England on as well, just listen to us talk about our players this season. Right. Right. We need to talk about Flynn Downs. He's next on the list, really. I loved him when he was with us in the Championship last time round. I don't know about you, Ellie. He was brilliant, wasn't he? He was one of the best midfielders in the league, suited the manager, the way the manager played football. For whatever reason, ever since January, under Juric and whatever went on, it's not quite felt the same for Flynn at Saints, has it?
No, it hasn't. That season that we had when he was on loan from West Ham, he was so good that season. He was absolutely fantastic, and there was all the hype when we signed him, and I didn't think we would really sign him, but then we did, and played obviously under Russell Martin, and then when Russell Martin went and Juric came, and obviously it looked like he might get the move away. And since then, he hasn't really been preferred to be an 11, has he? I know that he's had some illness and things like that this season as well, which has prevented him from being in the team. And he's been back obviously for a couple of games now. And I actually thought, and I'd heard different from a lot of Saints fans on this, but the past 2 games that I've seen him play, obviously against QPR midweek last week, and then against Sheffield Wednesday, I thought feels like the old Flynn Downs is starting to come back. But I've also had different opinions on that, and people saying he's still not been as good as we know he can be. So yeah, I mean, we haven't seen loads of him this season, so probably needs more time. But
it's a real hard one to judge, isn't it? I'm with you on that. It's a real hard one to judge, because
but I do think he's a great player, and I think I'd like to see him playing regularly again.
Yeah, this is good fun. I'm enjoying doing this. It's a good way to assess the squad, isn't it? And we're being really balanced. We're not being too harsh. We're just going to say it how it is. It gets tougher because I want to pull out a new signing. And a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking, yikes. I think he's going to be class. Finn Azaz. He will be good. There's clearly a good player there. Clearly a good player.
Yeah, and I think we hadn't seen him at his full potential in a Saints shirt yet, and I still don't think we have. Hopefully getting that goal and that assist at the weekend will do his confidence the world of good. But there's definitely a fantastic player there. I think 2 seasons ago when we were in the Championship, apart from Adam Armstrong, I think he had the most goal involvements apart from Adam Armstrong out of any other player in the league, which is obviously a great stat. There's definitely a great player there, and I think with a bit more game time and with the rest of the squad, that will come out. So yeah, I think it's a tricky one. Before Saturday, I might have said needs more time, but he did have a good game on Saturday. So again, you can make that final decision, Martin, because that's a really tricky one.
He played well. Should we put him in needs more time?
Yeah, it's probably the best.
Then we're once we do this, we'll do this again. We'll rank the whole squad in what we'll do is we'll get to the keep, sell or loan time around January when we sort of start to look at the squad. I think it gives us a really good idea on sort of like who we want, who we feel has got a future. I think it's pretty clear anyway. There will be players that still need to be moved on. Right. A player I love, and he's had a few wow performances for me. Like he's had a few like hit and miss performances. Shay Charles. He's injured at the moment, Ellie, but I think he's come back and he looks a good player. Like a better player than he was before.
Yeah. He looks like a completely different player to me. Last time we were in the Championship, I don't think he got, tons and tons of time. But he obviously needed that season away last year at Sheffield Wednesday, and they just loved him there, didn't they? Absolutely loved him at Sheffield Wednesday. But to me, he's come back a player that's got so much more confidence, and looks a lot tougher in midfield. Doesn't lose the ball as easy, makes really successful passes and everything like that. So yeah, between the top two sections for me, but I've been really, really impressed with how he's come back, and he team's a totally different player, and he's one of the first names on the team sheet for me.
Yeah, so is it wow? Is it a good start? He's had a great start, hasn't he? He's a brilliant start. So let's put him. Where are we going to put him? I'm struggling to. Is it wow? Has he been
Let's
wow?
put him in wow. We haven't got too many players in wow yet.
We haven't got too many wows, have we? Because it's like literally the performances are summing up where we are, but we've got a lot of needs more time. At least we haven't been too harsh on anyone. Put him in yikes yet. We haven't got to yikes just yet. Right. Let's go with Casper Yander.
Yeah.
I thought, and a lot of people were saying he didn't play as well playing in the six at the weekend, but I actually thought he played really well the weekend. Like he played deeper against Sheffield Wednesday. He went and got the ball more, and I actually think he's quite versatile in terms of like where he can play in that midfield. I love him as a player. I've been so impressed with him.
I think he's had a great start at Saints. I know he missed a shot, a few weeks ago, didn't he? That was a bit annoying, but obviously scored a goal the other day, which is fantastic news. I was listening to Adam Blackmore when we first signed Casper Yander, and he was saying he's such an intelligent player on the pitch compared to a lot of players that we've got. So for me, great start. I really like the look of how he plays and everything like that. So I think a midfield, potentially of Aurel Romeu, you've got Casper Yander, and then you've got Shay Charles, and you've got Flynn Downs potentially. So that's starting to look like a really
great options. Great options. Yeah, it's good options, isn't it? So we'll give him a good start. I really like Yander. He's going to be absolutely class. Right. Let's come on to Ryan Fraser. Started the season really well. He's Will Steele's best player in pre-season, and all of a sudden, whether he's got injured, he's disappeared. I think he's injured. But it's nowhere to be seen at this moment in time. This happened with him, last season, and we didn't see him again for the whole season. So I think, I'll be honest, I think this is his last season wearing the Saints shirt. I don't see him being here next season. His contract's out. They'll never renew it, I wouldn't think, unless he has an amazing turn of form. What's your thoughts on Fraser?
Ryan Fraser is a player that I really, really love. I mean, last time we were in the Championship, he was. I remember a few goals. There was a goal he scored at West Brom away, which was such a fantastic goal. And he did score loads of great goals that year, didn't he? And unfortunately, last season, for whatever reason, he didn't play a lot. And then going into this season, he makes a couple of starts, and I started to think, this is the return of Ryan Fraser. We're going to see him regularly again. Now, I think we've gone through so many managers, haven't we? He's obviously been preferred with some and not with others. So I guess we'll have, if it isn't that he's injured, I guess we'll have to see what the next manager thinks. But yeah, we haven't seen loads of him, so it's a bit more difficult to say.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, Ryan Fraser. He's had an all right start, really, I guess, but yeah, he's disappeared the last couple of weeks. Do you know what? For his block of fixtures early on, he's probably had a good start compared to what we thought he was going to have. If we looked at where he was at the end of last season, everyone thought he should be first name out the door. Right, his best mate now, Adam Armstrong.
Yeah,
he top goal scorer, Ellie already. Adam Armstrong, no shock there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's come back into a run of form, hasn't he? Which is great. So yeah, hopefully it continues and we can see as many goals from him as we have in the past, not last season, but the season before. Just hopefully his form continues. He doesn't get injured and he can continue, because I think once Adam Armstrong starts getting goals, they just keep coming for him, don't they? Especially coming off of one of those sides. I mean, it was a lovely goal he scored against Sheffield Wednesday with the outside of his boot, and he can score goals from various different positions. So yeah,
better playing off that right hand side channel, isn't he? He kind of off that channel on the right hand side. That's where it suits him. Yeah, a lot of people saying in the chat they've been impressed with his start.
Yeah, definitely. I think I expected him to be scoring all the goals anyway, because that's just what he does. So I think he's lived up to my expectations so far. But he scored a couple of great goals and doing what we know he can do at this level. So yeah, very very impressed, and let's hope he stays in the team.
Good start. Right, that's good. We are down to our last five players to rate so far. Let's come on to Tom Fellows, signed from West Brom late in the window. Best game was without question the weekend, wasn't it? It's the best he's played so far. What's your thoughts been on Fellows? I was excited about the signing when he arrived, but I'm a bit surprised he hasn't been as good as I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, and I think he hasn't started every game as well, has he? He was the type of player that I thought would be starting every game. I've personally been relatively impressed with what I've seen of him so far. He had a couple of great moments at the weekend. I think it was Finn Azaz's goal where he did a really good job. And my little brother who comes to the games with us as well, he actually said to me earlier, he said Tom Fellows reminds me of David Brooks. You know, the way he sort of runs in and runs at players and things like that. So for me, I would say good start, but I don't know if you feel that he hasn't been as impressive as you would have thought.
Yeah, I think he get better. I think he get better. I do think he get better. I think he will improve. From what I've seen of him when he's played, I just think he's maybe a little bit mismanaged early on. He was in and out of the side. It doesn't help when someone's signed that's a championship ready player and he's come here thinking, right, I'm going to be in every single week, and he's not been. So he's probably thinking, questioning his, why did I come here? Probably I would have thought he'd be looking at it, but I think he's tops. I do think he's going to be tops for us. So yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Last four now. I don't know what to do with Ross Stewart, Ellie. I'm struggling with this one because I was like, until he got injured, it was a great start. It was brilliant. It was brilliant, and then he got injured, and I'm gutted for him. I think we're all gutted for him.
Me too. It's so frustrating, isn't it? Because I think at this level, he would be able to do so much if he was fit all the time. So it's a tricky one. He scored a couple of goals now, hasn't he? And it really felt like he was going to get that start, and maybe this was the end of his injury run. If he can just, look after himself and things like that. And unfortunately, it hasn't gone that way. From what I've seen of him so far this season, I think has been good. And I think it would have kick-started this season if he hadn't have had that injury, scoring those two goals when he did. So, yeah, very frustrating situation to be in, especially when the that striker position has been so talked about with Saints for so long now, not having that main striker. So since Che Adams left, really, and I know that Che Adams wasn't scoring as many goals as Adam Armstrong was, but the two of them working together was allowing Adam Armstrong to score all of those goals. So yeah, a tricky one with him. Obviously not had enough time for us to really be able to judge him, and whether he will get much more time, who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
We'll put him in not played enough because he's not really played enough, is he? So we'll pop him in not played enough because just it is the fact. Right now, coming on to Cameron Archer now is a big talking point for me. Now I want to discuss this one with you because I actually thought Cameron Archer, Ellie, this year was going to be really good. I thought, do you know what? This is his year. Like, we signed him for 15 million. He did a really good spell in the Championship for Borough and looked really, really good. And I thought he scored a bucket load of goals. Has a brilliant pre-season, finding the back of the net. And yeah, he's just not not ever been good enough. He's not been good enough, has he? Yeah.
No, and he's the type of player that I really want to do well, and I want him to be really successful. I mean, his goals per 90 minutes. I mean, Jack Stevens has got more goals per 90 minutes played at this point. Let alone Ryan Manning and other players. yeah, it's a hard one with him, because I think we would all like him to come good eventually and start scoring goals. He did have a couple of goals earlier in the season, didn't he? Scored one in the cup, and people were starting to think maybe this will kick-start his season. But again, just not really happened for him. Haven't seen a lot of him. And, as we've gone into the past few weeks now with players coming in like, attacking players coming in like Leo Cienza and Finnez Fellows, it doesn't look like he's going to get a look in now. So yeah, not had enough time for me, but also he's had enough time in his Saint shirt now for us to probably think, whether it's going to happen or not. And it's not looking that way at the minute, is it? Unless something really, really changes.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's got to improve. I absolutely agree with that. His contract runs till 2028, so he's got a while with us yet, which is but it's the end of the 27-28 season. So he was a 4-year deal he had with us. Geez, we like to give out big deals, don't we? So must improve. Right, final two. We'll come to Damien last. We'll do Jay Robinson first. I thought he, for me, was a really good start of the season. I thought some of his performances were outstanding. I think he's a brilliant young player. He looks like he's took to the Championship really well already. Seeing that he's kind of come out of the academy, made a couple of appearances in the Premier League last year. But for me, he looks like a top player, doesn't he?
Yeah, completely. The goal he scored against QPR, that was a great finish, wasn't it? I think there was a header against Ipswich, was it, at the beginning of the season? So scored a couple of goals now.
I forgot about that, Ellie. I forgot about that goal.
Yeah,
forgot about that goal. It's a good goal,
wasn't it? Really promising. So obviously, I think he's going to need more game time, and just to get that bit of experience behind him that some of the other players in the squad have. As you said, haven't seen loads of him more recently. I know he's played in the past couple of games, but before that, he kind of dropped out a little bit. But yeah, good start from what I've seen of him so far. And yeah, I think he will be absolutely, as you said, a top player.
Yeah, it's good. But this is a tough one, because I hate being hard on players, but we speak about strikers, and we've obviously we spent a bit of money on this young lad. He was seen as the Shea Adams type replacement, so to speak. He was that striker that we needed. It's been a disaster, isn't it? If there was anyone you're going to put in yikes.
Yeah, I think it probably has to be him. It's a difficult situation, because obviously Pochettino has picked him to be in the USA squad. Saints see something in him to have signed him. But if you look at some of the data, I mean, his XG is as low as some of the defenders so far this season. He hasn't looked like a threat when he's come on.
Yeah, touch is terrible.
I think technically he got one assist for a goal earlier in the season, but I don't know if it really was or not. But yeah, it's not gone well so far for him, has it? And does he need a goal? But is that really going to change anything? Because he hasn't even looked like he's anywhere near that at the minute. So yeah, unfortunately, I think if we're going to put a player in that section, it's going to be him. But whether it will all turn around and come good, we'll have to wait and see. But the club must see something in him to have signed him when they did, for such an important position, as we've been saying for so long. And obviously for Pochettino to pick him for the USA squad too, that shows something, doesn't it? So maybe something's just not quite right for him at Saints at the minute. Maybe a new manager will change that. There's lots of factors into this, isn't there? So we'll have to wait and see. I think I'd like to say might need a bit more game time, but we don't have that game time to give him if he's playing the way he has played recently. So yeah, very difficult situation with him, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. That was good. That was actually good. I really enjoyed doing that. It was good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, me too.
What I will do is, for anyone tuning in, I will leave the link to the ranking tier that we've got here, and you can go and do it. I've said it as a public, so anyone can go and do it if they want. You can screenshot it, send it to us. We'd love to get your opinions as well. It's been great, but we got a few questions I want to go through as well. So just a couple in the live. There's around just short of 700 watching live. But if you're watching on YouTube and you're putting your comments in, we will pull out some of the comments. I'm not sure if they pull through from X, but they certainly do from YouTube. So someone said about Damien Downs, Ellie.
Yeah.
Not enough effort is my biggest gripe. Would that be the same for you?
I don't know, to be honest. It's very hard to say. I mean, a comment that controversial Chris made that I thought was interesting and I hadn't thought about on Saturday was that is the part of his problem, you know, the delivery that he gets from our midfielders not being good enough for him, and that's where he's struggling. We've got such different types of strikers, haven't we, in Damien Downs and in Cameron Archer, and they all need different types of delivery compared to the other one, because they're such different types of players. I mean, it does look like if you just watch the game, it doesn't look like that's a fair comment. It doesn't look like that the effort is 100% there, but a player that's trying to prove himself and trying to get in the squad, as I would like to think he is, you would like to think that there is 100% effort there. So is that just maybe his 100% effort and it's not good enough? So, but I see what the comment is saying, where if you just watch the game for what it is, it doesn't look like, you know, the effort's 100% there. I can see that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I totally get it. Few comments on him. He's like a bike with no gears. It's a bit harsh, but yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it has been a tough one for him. Like Matt Letizia, without the skill. I quite like that. I do quite like that. It's been great, Ellie. Really enjoyed this. If you're a member of the YouTube channel and you're tuning in, me and Ellie are going to continue this conversation over for members only, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the managerial situation as well, who we both want to see come in. Brilliant one here. I will do this one because we've got a super chat come through. Really appreciate it. So we will do this. It's very kind of you to support the channel with the super chat. It's absolutely amazing. What would you both say is our strongest team? I'm going to let my co-host go first. Ellie, your strongest team. It's quite 11. Tough, isn't it? You got Oreo to play with now as well.
Yeah, that's probably the trickiest part. So I would go Alex McCarthy. And sorry, I'm just going to read my list of players here so I make sure I don't forget anyone. I'm going to go Alex McCarthy.
Are you playing a back four or are you going with a back five?
I'm going to go back five because that's what we've been doing a bit more recently. So I'm going to go Alex McCarthy, Ryan Manning, Taylor Howard-Bellis, Nathan Wood, Wellington, maybe back four actually. And then I'm going to go Shay Charles, Oriel Romeu, and we've got good players. This is the problem.
Yeah,
Casper Yander.
Where you put Yander in it? Yes, where you put Yander. I still think a 4-3. A 4-3-3. I used to quite like under Ralph, but
because that's
depends who the manager is as well, doesn't it?
4-3, and then probably I would have to go Tom Fellows.
Yeah, he's got to be in the side, hasn't he?
Got to be in the side. Leo Cienza and Adam Armstrong. It'd probably be my 11. But again, it's really tricky.
That's got to be your front three, isn't it?
I've had to leave out Finn Azaz there. I've had to leave out, you know, some of these defenders. I've had to leave out.
It's really hard to.
Downside, I don't know, but yeah, it's very tricky.
It's really, really difficult. I think we got to get Fellows in the side somehow. Cienza's always got to be in the side, without a shadow of doubt. I think if they totally burn Yander game in, game out, he's going to blow up and he'll get injured. So I think they need to manage him and look after Yander, because I think he's a really, really good player and he just needs a little bit of looking after.
Yeah, I think we need to get to a more stable starting 11 for me as well, because it just feels like it changes so much. And I'd like to see it. I know it's never going to be the same every single week, but it feels like to me we need to sort of decide on a formation. And again, I know that changes depending on who you're playing, but decide on a more stable formation and those players, because like literally every week when you read the team sheet, I don't know who to even expect to be on there anymore. Yeah. And it feels like we need a more stable sort of core 11 to me personally as well to make some progress.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. We will chat some more manager chat when we do our members live in a minute. We need Ollie. I like the thought of Ollie. I saw him on the overlap this morning. I watched it come up on my feed, and there was like one of the clips that they clipped up was like he wants to get back into management. Oh yeah, I was like, yeah. I didn't think about Ollie. I didn't really think about him, Ellie. I think he's a good shout, to be honest.
I didn't think about him either. When this first happened with Will Still, and I just looked at the names that were in the running, his name was on there, but it was so far down, I didn't really think about it or think that could even be a possibility. But I mean, that's a big name manager signing, isn't it? So
yeah,
I think
command respect, wouldn't he?
Exactly.
He'd get respect straight away.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He'd have the respect straight away. He hasn't got an awful, record. I mean, that if we could get him, why not? Yeah. I mean, that is a no-brainer. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he'd absolutely take it. Ellie, it's been a pleasure. If anybody wants to join us, we're going to continue the conversation, managerial chat in our members live, which is going to be live in around 3 or 4 minutes time. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon.